This isn't the first time I've talked about Teen Titans and led with this exact clip. This will be the second time. And the reason is that I saw this clip a few weeks ago and now I haven't been able to stop thinking about Teen Titans. This clip is everything that no one who watched or even read Teen Titans wanted to see on their TV screens. And yet, this show, Teen Titans Go, has become Cartoon Network's ridiculousness. At one point before complaints, it was airing sometimes over 100 times a week. And in some countries, this still happens. It is now Cartoon Network's longest running show by an episode count ever, passing 400 episodes. Teen Titans Go is not a bad TV show, it's a relevant one. And that is where the problems start. And exactly how it's missed the one thing that made this show matter. So how did Teen Titans Go become the exact thing its very network should be afraid of?
You're ruining a beloved series!
Oh, we're just getting started!
For most shows would have this extensive background history of how they came to be. Teen Titans Go doesn't. It wasn't a passion project that took the hard road to screens. Instead, it has this. This is Teen Titans, a show widely regarded as one of the best animated shows its network ever aired. And I've talked before about spin-offs, but Teen Titans was never ripe for one. It was ripe for continuation. As I've said, in my opinion, the goal of a spin-off is simple. Number 1, respect the characters. Number 2, keep the tone or explore new things and people in a new tone. And number 3, extend the world, don't regress into it. So I don't need to spend much time here, but it is good context. Teen Titans took its characters very seriously, but it left room for chibi animation, for exaggeration, for fun. It wasn't all melodrama and action. It was a show about power, about loss, grief, a show about people, and people feel a variety of emotions. Well, we can just scratch number 1 off, just as we did last time. Teen Titans Go still isn't a show about people. It's a show about cartoon characters. One that doesn't respect or really care about how they portray these people. All these years later, and Go still reduces these characters to singular personality traits for the sake of comedy all too often, stripping them of all the reasons you cared to begin with, borderline flanderizing them intentionally. A term used to describe the process by which a character slowly becomes reduced to a singular part of their personality. But number 2, the tone. That's more interesting. Teen Titans, like its characters, had nuance in its tone. Yes, it could be dark, it could adapt things like the Judas Contract, and it could be harsh in its action. It also did stuff like this.
Thank you, Robin. I rinsed, lathered, and repeated.
It was a funny show. 400 episodes in, and I'm still unsure of why Go couldn't have picked other characters in the DC universe to just be only a funny show with. Again, if your spin-off is going to take an entirely new tonal approach, explore entirely new parts of the world, which the DC universe has plenty of, by the way. Go simply walks over Teen Titans' already treaded ground with clown shoes on. Now, there's always the argument that this is made for a younger audience, but if that's true, why all of the 80s and 90s movie references that audience would never understand? Why does the show spend so much time referencing the fans of the original series who certainly aren't part of that audience either? There's a significant amount of content here that is clearly for, at the very least, a wide audience.
Facts which prove that the 80s were the greatest decade in human history!
Again, this doesn't make it bad, it's not, but this choice seems odd for a spin-off. And 3, extend the world. Teen Titans was a relatively short-lived show. The amount of comic material it could have adapted or continued to adapt is now decades worth. Go regresses deep into a tiny little portion of the world where it sticks in this pocket and expands repeatedly, only in a tiny circle, always ending where it started. What's even stranger is Go seems to be aware of this. This here...
I've never felt more emotionally complex.
We should have gotten serious years ago.
Is the show seemingly mocking the idea of fans wanting the OG show back. This is another example.
Our next step to becoming a respectable, award-winning show.
In moments like these, which happen more than you think, kind of read as deflection. The show acknowledging that it's missing something and then making the joke you, and that you even wanted that thing in the first place at all. But at this point, this is actually not what I think is so interesting about Go. I actually think it's 2 other things. I've seen Go compared to commercials. I've compared it to commercials. More specifically, commercials like these Geico ones, where Geico decided to make commercials that had nothing to do with what they were selling, had no context, but made people laugh. So they assumed that it would get the brand the attention they were looking for. That's still true of Teen Titans Go. It is weirdly similar in its approach. But what I think has changed since I last talked about Go is the weird self-fulfilling prophecy it's becoming. Teen Titans was built to storytell. It was built on the backs of characters fleshed out over years in comics. Deep, interconnected narratives, and it was built to give its audience something a little less digestible than a lot of contemporary shows. It challenged a younger audience to think more maturely, to rationalize bad things, to reckon with more serious themes. It's built on the back of timeless ideas and principles. Go is the opposite. Go is built for relevancy. And it is an issue for more than just itself. When your characters have existed for decades, the pursuit of relevancy almost always leaves what those characters were behind. And here, they're replaced with pop culture references and self-awareness, which again, Go is very self-aware. Go is built like a commercial, short, digestible, simple. The problem is, what they're selling, so to speak, is the exact thing killing its network. Go is clearly written to be chopped up into clips, shared, memed. It is short-form content stretched across, unironically, short-form episodes. And they are shared. Go clips are everywhere. While Cartoon Network is slowly putting entire Ed, Netty episodes onto this platform, Go instead is given hundreds of tiny little official clips. Again, a commercial selling its version of content. The irony, of course, is that this is the same reality that's getting Cartoon Network closer and closer to the brink. Go is the exact kind of content that people are watching everywhere but the network it's airing on. That isn't to say that Go shouldn't exist, it's just to say that there's irony in the fact that Teen Titans, a show that was once a bastion of what the network was capable of, has now been turned into something that airs 100 times a week and is slowly swallowing the network. A show that references the rest of the world just as much as it references its own world. It's mimicking the exact kind of content that's making it harder and harder for its own network to survive. But Teen Titans Go is good at what it's trying to do. The show, for what it is not bad at all. It is very successful, actually, at what it is attempting to do, to the point where it's gotten a full-blown theatrical film release. So why then is it so polarizing, so divisive? Well, I think there's a single word that perfectly sums up that issue. Contrast. Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go probably has one of the slimmest crossover audiences of a spin-off to a main series I can think of. That isn't due to some big generational gap. There's only 7 years between the end of Teen Titans and the premiere of Go. One thing I see talked about a lot is exactly what I've already mentioned here. Well, Teen Titans was funny. Teen Titans had jokes. And Go was funny and it's just jokes. And that's true, but Teen Titans had contrast. Comedy in a vacuum is really, really difficult to write, and a lot of times when shows fail at comedy, it's due to this lack of contrast. It's what some people might view as trying too hard. What they're really seeing is jokes without foundation. Teen Titans comedy worked because at its core, that show was a serialized action drama. Its characters were written to evolve, adapt, to grow, to be a reflection of you or real people you know. And so the comedy lands often as a way for these younger characters to still express their youth, to lighten the burdens they have on them, to break up their reality. There's this Aristotle quote that might or might not have actually been written by him, but it holds true. The secret to humor is surprise. And because it's not constant, because it's not the only thing, it works more often than not. It's able to surprise. There is contrast at the core of the show. The result of this is that Teen Titans still works. Its audience was varied in age and demographic, and so it continues to age well. Then there's Go, which strips all contrast away from Teen Titans. If you've ever watched Go and felt, wow, this is inconsistent, or that's funny, but now it's not again, it's probably that lack of contrast. When all you have is comedy and all you expect is comedy, there is very little room for surprise. And all that's left is a deluge of jokes. That's what makes stand-up comedy so difficult. And on TV, episode after episode, nothing can be consistently funny in that environment. No writing team is perfect. But when Go's jokes aren't landing, that's usually all there is. There's nothing else to cling on to or enjoy. It has no other foundation. If an episode parodies something you're not familiar with or touches on humor that you don't enjoy, that episode becomes of little to no value to you. As a result, Go is a show that works really well for its audience, but is also a show that's, to me, easy to move on from and easy to lose interest in. It's also why the show can feel a little like out-of-context Teen Titans commercials, a series of vignettes built for a short-form demographic. They are different shows, but unlike most spin-offs, they're kind of for different people. That's not to say that you can't enjoy both. It's just to say there's probably less people that do.
Now who's up for a burping competition?
The most interesting reality of all of this is that Teen Titans Go has probably made it less likely that we'll ever see a season 6 or continuation of the original animated series. For a lot of people, Go is their only exposure to these characters. This very commercial, very weird short-form driven spinoff. Something tells me the studio and network think the pipeline from action to comedy is easier to accomplish than the pipeline from comedy to this. Especially when the show currently airing shows absolutely no signs of slowing down. One long, forever airing commercial, which is a shame because I love these characters, and Cartoon Network knows it. That's why it's these characters in Go and not new ones, to play on that nostalgia, to play on that love. I just wish they'd remember that these characters could be so much more than this. That is it for today's episode. If you enjoyed this one, press that like button down below. And I am curious, what's a show you think a spinoff would actually work for? And as always, if you haven't yet done so, hit subscribe, that way you don't miss anything coming to the channel. And that little notification bell, that just makes sure you're actually notified when something comes to the channel. It helps a lot, so press that little bell. And as always, this has been